your relationship with Villeneuve led you to British American Racing. And I think you were one of the directors when it started up. Am I right?
I was one of the first directors in, and I was one of the first directors out.
I mean, what actually happened there?
Well, it wasn't originally my decision that Jack should leave Williams. He just won the championship. And, he had this thing about wanting to run his own team. And I've known Jack since he was a little boy, because in sorting out the estate of his father, we'd created this trust fund for him and his sister Melanie to go to school in Switzerland. Then I kind of lost touch with him and his mother, Joanne. And it wasn't until Craig Pollock appeared on the scene as his gym teacher at school, who rang me up one day and said he's got this, son of Gilles Villeneuve, and, how does he get into driver management? Because Jacques had asked him to look after his management. And I said, well, that's a whole long story. And I actually asked, this was probably in about 93. And I asked Ayrton if he minded if I talked to this guy Pollock. And he said, who's he, about whom? I said, Jacques Villeneuve. And he said, is that the son of Gilles? I said, yes. So he said, how old is he? And I said, oh, he's about 18, I think. Just leaving school. And he was going to go and race in Japan. So Ayrton did a quick calculation, and he worked out that he probably wouldn't be a rival of his. So he said, yeah, why don't you tell him how to do things? So I sat down in a hotel in Geneva and told Craig Pollock how to run Client. Trouble is, he didn't listen. And then he did race in Japan, and then he went to race in IndyCar, and he did very well, and he won the championship in 95. And then when David left, Frank wanted Jack. So I had to work on Frank to replace him, to replace DC with Jack, because Frank didn't really want to talk to Craig Pollock.
Why did Frank not want to talk to Craig Pollock?
Good question. I don't have the answer to it. But I don't think that Craig... He managed to put a lot of people's backs up very quickly.
Right, okay. You said that Jacques had this desire to race for his own team. Do you think it was Jacques' desire or Craig's desire? Who was the driving force behind it?
I think it was Craig's desire, and he persuaded Jack to do it, which I was against, because I thought he'd only been in Formula 1 2 years. He came close to winning the championship in 95 in his first year. He won it in his second year. And I thought he could have even gone to Ferrari.
Jacques Villeneuve?
Yeah, he could have done, but they got Michael there. That was the problem. But, he could have gone to any other team. So I kind of thought, why do you want to set up your own team? I wasn't sure it was the greatest idea to do it. And Craig certainly wasn't the right person to run it. I mean, it didn't take long. I mean, as I said, I was the first director out, because I fell out with him over it. I mean, it all became a huge ego trip for him, and the team wasn't being run properly. Adrian Reynard fell out with him. Everybody fell out with him. Huge ego trip.
Frustrating time for Villeneuve.
I think, Jack's career, he could have won more and done more had he gone a different route.
Do you stay in touch with Jacques today?
Yeah, very much so. See him at races. I've always got along well with him.